Hey, welcome back to Thugging It Out. I want to first thank all of my returning listeners, and for any new listeners, I want to say welcome. And if you did not know, Thugging It Out is a platform that creates a safe space to acknowledge, experience, and overcome real life issues in a healthy and positive way. And also, I want to remind you guys to like, follow, and subscribe us on all the platforms that you might be listening to Thugging It Out on. And also, make sure you follow us on Instagram at underscore thugging it out underscore and connect with us on our Instagram page or through email at thuggingitout2022 at gmail.com. Or always, you're welcome to connect with me on my personal Facebook page. So, with that being said, welcome, and let's get into this episode. So, this week, I just want to remind you guys and to send out that positive reinforcement of no regrets. Like regardless of good or bad things that you might have done in your past, or maybe you're in the process of still doing, you ain't learned your lesson yet. But any situation, never regret it. Now, I'm not sitting there saying like live this life that you just constantly messing up and you constantly making bad decisions. Of course not. I would never say that. Like learn from them. But I want to put the emphasis on not regretting things, because I know sometimes we could look at certain situations in our life or even certain phases or certain seasons and be like, oh my God, I regret that so bad. But I would not, I think we should change our language on that type of situation. It's not that you regret. I feel like we need to just have that appreciation that we can learn from it. We learn from the experience. Like appreciate the mistake. Appreciate that bad decision. Appreciate that bad season or that horrible ex, the time that you fucked up that good job, or the time that you even messed up on a relationship. Like you screwed that person over, you cheated, you acted childish in those situations. We got to look at those situations and just be like, it happened for a reason and I was able to learn from it. So instead of regretting it, let's appreciate the process of us growing and learning from it, because we just cannot live a life full of regrets. And honestly, we are always going to make mistakes. Something is always bad. Life is full of, it's like a roller coaster. You have ups, you have downs, you have lows, you have highs. That is one thing that is for sure in life. No one on this planet can say, I have had the perfect life, from a perfect childhood to a perfect, younger 20s. I raised my kids perfect. I had the perfect job. I always had the perfect income. Can nobody say that? And a lot of people, especially a lot of people I know, they always have this, I regret that. I regret that. I want to come and give you that reassurance that don't regret it. Just appreciate the lesson. And lessons can come in many different forms. The main goal is to learn from it, because every mistake is a chance to learn. And making mistakes makes us human. Like if you a person that's really just gonna lie in somebody's face and say, I don't regret, I don't make mistakes, everything I do is planned and this, that, and the third, you're full of shit. And if you hear someone say that, you can tell them that, yeah, Kenya said you full of shit, because I said it, I'm gonna own up to it. Because we all make mistakes. We all do shit that we wish we shouldn't have, or know that we shouldn't have, or wish we would have done something differently. But I'm letting you know that mistakes makes you human, and making that mistake actually gave you an opportunity to learn. And sometimes our mistakes are low key saving us from something. Like, sometimes you might mess up with that one person that you felt like you're supposed to have married, but maybe you making that mistake, you messing up that relationship, it opened the door for you to find somebody more that was more in line with who you were going to be. Because I know I see that to a lot of people. They kind of hate the fact that, they kind of screwed someone over or somebody screwed them over. But I'm just being that voice in the back of your head saying it happened for a reason. That person wasn't going to align with the person that you're becoming, because we change every day. If you're not changing, it's a problem. So I don't care what type of what type of person you are, what you might going on in your life, I'm trying to tell you, if you're not changing, you're doing something wrong. Because I change every day. I'm a continuous project. I evolve every day. And with that being said, I hope and I'm wishing that everyone is too. And that change could be, okay, I'm going to start making, healthier habits, or I'm going to work on my attitude. I'm going to work on, my professional life. We all must continue to change and evolve, because if you're not, something is wrong and you're really not living your best life, and you're never going to reach your full potential if you just stay stuck. But personally, I have done plenty of things, that I wish never happened. And everything that has happened to me has really molded me to become the woman I am today. For instance, teen pregnancy. Teen pregnancy is something that's like frowned upon, and I don't wish that on anybody. And honestly, I wish that I would have made a better decision, but I never regret becoming a teen parent, because despite the bad stigma, teen pregnancy made me mature. It made me become responsible. It made me start taking accountability for my actions. And it kind of forced me to become the woman that I am today. Because not only was I a teen parent, but I was a teen single parent. Jamal's dad had went to went to prison when Jamal was 6 months. And from then on, I've been thugging it out on my own. So that means I made sure that I finished high school. I made sure that I went to college, and before I came back home, I received my associates, and I always had a full-time job. And when I tell you I thugged the single parent life out, I did. Like at one time in college, I was away. I had Jamal was in daycare, and then Jamal had a night daycare person so I could work. And I worked two jobs while I was in college. And my whole point of saying this was that, I took it made me become that mama bear, that grinder. Like, you know what? I can't expect no one to make me or my son's life better. I am the person that's going to ensure that we are taken care of, that we're going to be, a family with just me and him, and that he was never going to miss out on anything as a child based off of my mistake. So with that, it kind of taught me how to be, be responsible. I learned how to manage money well. My credit score was always good. Of course, I was a teen mom, so sometimes you gotta rob Peter to pay Paul. But when I tell you, I learned the ins and out of a lot of stuff as a teen parent, and it kind of made me grow up to be that woman that I am today. Part of it, or even I can say, toxic relationships and partners. At one point in my life, I just liked it a project, which is sad that now that I look at it, it's like I can really see the majority of men that I dated before, of course, my situation now, they were always projects. They always had something wrong with them. Like they were either had mommy issues, or they were just lazy, or they had some type of traumatic background. Well, I just felt like I was Mrs. Fix It, and I was just attracted to them, not even realizing that it was kind of a reflection of what I kind of had on the inside of me. And I didn't really recognize the pattern of men I dated until I kind of started therapy. That's why I really feel like, once again, I'm gonna throw it out there: go see a therapist, because a lot of our patterns in our life and how the adults that we became, it always has a root, and more than likely that root was planted back in your childhood, and you don't even know, because you done buried it so far and you're not even able to acknowledge it. But all those toxic partners and relationships, and having domestic violence or verbal or emotional abuse intertwined in it, showed me what not to look for in a man. And it helped me realize that a lot of the red flags that I saw that I just ignored. And moving forward, as I got older, I started to be more conscious with the people I dated, and I started focusing more on myself, which means that what I'm trying to relay is that my mistakes of the men I chose to date, it helped me get back to Kenya. It helped me to get to the root of who I was and what I needed. And quite frankly, before me and Romeo started dating, I was actually done with relationships. It was just me enjoying life. It was me working on myself. It was me making that conscious decision. Like, I'm not doing no more projects. Like, if you got this wrong with you, if you come off like you got childhood trauma that you don't want to acknowledge or experience, baby, no. Like, if you ain't got no job, no. If you ain't got no car and you ain't got your own place, no. And it started helping me realize the games that, once upon a time I fell for. And honestly, if I never fell for it, I wouldn't have learned them. So that's why I say every mistake or every bad decision you have made in life, it helps you to learn. And also it gives other people opportunity to learn. Because like I can learn from other people's mistakes. And I know it's a lot of people out here that can learn from other people's mistakes. But someone has to do it. So you could look at your mistakes as, okay, it's a learning opportunity for me. And it's also a teaching opportunity for someone else. So they don't have to experience what I experienced. They don't got to, provoke this season of misery, or they don't have to go through this bad period of just misfortune, because I could let them know this is what I messed up on, and you don't do it. So you do this way. And that's how we could all start to help each other, just to prevent us from all making the same dumbass mistakes. And also, one-sided friendships. I'm not gonna say a lot, but I had a few one-sided friendships where it was more so me being more of a friend than me having a friend in return. And even those mistakes and those misfortunate friendships, it kind of taught me how to stand on my own 2 feet by myself. Like, I am not that type of woman that just needs friends, that needs company, that needs someone to be around them. That's not me. I'm able to be by myself. I could do whatever by myself. I never needed a group to be me. And I feel like by, having betrayal in relationships, well, in friendships, or having those type of instances where you just feel like, dang, I just got like stabbed in the back, or you was never my friend. It it helped me realize who Kenya was. Also, it helped me realize that, girl, you don't need nobody else. All you need is you and God, and you'll be all right. Like, friends, even though they are a blessing to have, I do have friends, and I'm grateful for the ones I do have because they real ones. But it's never a need. It's never like, oh my God, I'm gonna die if I don't talk to my friends. And honestly, I feel like that's toxic. That's like really is coming out as something is wrong with you if you're not able to be an adult without having friends or having that constant need of approval from other people. And that leads me to the point that everything happens for a reason. I know that's very cliche. A lot of people say it, but everything happens for a reason. And it's so funny because a lot of times when something happens, we don't really recognize, like, why has this happened to me? But sometimes it's really a setup for something greater. And we must remember that, because even though it might be unfortunate, it might hurt, it might be bad, it might not be what you thought, but sometimes it might be what you need. Because if I sit there and I think about like all my past relationships, and it's like, what if those would have worked out? Like, what would I be at in my life? And you gotta start sitting at looking at it that way instead of regretting stuff like, oh, I wish this would have worked out. You gotta sit there and think like, but what if I stayed in that position? Because honestly, a lot of success stories, they happen when they back against the wall. And even I did a deep dive in the Bible, and a lot of things that I'm recognizing that, like the little stories in the Bible, a lot of the goodness came out of, they back being against the wall. So that's kind of what I want you guys to I'm gonna challenge you guys to look into your life and just try to, pick out those instances and those situations in life where you was like, that was some fucked up shit. Like that was something. Like that didn't feel good. But then I want you to look and see like where was the light at the end of the tunnel? Like, okay, dude did break up with me, but what did I gain? I promise you're gonna be able to find the light at the end of the tunnel. It's not one situation in life that you could say it didn't work out and you still ain't got nothing. Like even with losing a job, you could get fired and get laid off. And sometimes those kind of force us to be more creative. It kind of force us, gives us the time to really be who we want to be, you know? So that's what I'm gonna challenge you guys this week. Try to look at one instance in your life where it didn't work out, and then look at where you're at now and see how it kind of benefited you at the end. And please, please, please remember never to regret anything. Even though I know sometimes it's hard, especially when you're in it, you just probably wish you didn't do it, but you can't live a life full of regrets. It's unhealthy, it's unnecessary, and I want you to remember that everything happens for a reason and every mistake is a chance to learn. So as long as you learn in a mistake, you good. Just don't make the same mistake twice. And you know what? I ain't gonna say twice because I done did some dumb shit twice. I'm gonna say don't let it happen a third time. It's okay to, sometimes you burn yourself, but then you like, well, was it because of that? But then when you burn yourself again, it's definitely, oh, it's because of that. So now I learn. So that's what I'm gonna do. We can burn ourselves twice. But that third time is really a problem. And quite honestly, it shouldn't even be the second time. You should learn first. But sometimes people are hard headed. That was me once before. I was very hard headed. I was one of the people that was like, nope, I'm going back. I'm going back. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna quit this job too, or I'm just gonna settle for here. And it never worked out. But sometimes you need that second time for for confirmation. But that's this week episode, and I hope it kind of gave you guys insight. I know it's probably like, well, I already know stuff like that. I'm just letting y'all know that just don't regret, because I see that a lot. A lot of people I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that. I wish I didn't do that. It happens, and it always happens for the benefit of you. So yeah, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe, and let me know what you think about this episode, and let me know what type of content you guys are, what you want to look for. Because I know a lot of people were sitting there talking about how me and Romeo should have dug deeper on the parenting side. So I think we might do that in a few more weeks. But in the meantime, I want you guys to be grateful, be blessed, and be thankful. But most importantly, keep thugging it out. Peace.